Welcome to Coco's crafting table. Have we met before? My name is Rachel. Coco's the cat who likes to come and join in the video sometimes. I dabble in all sorts of crafts, mainly crochet, knitting, try and dabble in watercolours and a little bit of applique and stitching. And we're going to talk about all those things today. And hopefully, oh, I hear it, paws on the table. Literally paws on the table. Here's Coco, who you probably can't see because I've got things all over the table. Oh, is that you? I don't know what that noise was, but she's lying right here at the moment, so she'll probably pop her head up in a minute and you'll see her. I've got my first cup of coffee of the morning in my lovely, one of my lovely Emma Ball mugs. I wonder if you can get these outside of the UK, I don't know, but I do like Emma Ball mugs because all her little creatures on there wear woolly jumpers and scarves, and sometimes she's got pictures made in stitch and applique. And I think today we'll start with the finished items that I've got to show you, because we have to do an end of the month WIP review to find out what's going to happen to things that aren't finished yet. Will they be ongoing into next month? Will they get put on hold, or will they be abandoned? We'll find out shortly. But let's look at some of the successful things that I have managed to complete. Shall we start with my socks? Now, I'm not necessarily making a pair of socks this year every month like I did last year, but so far I have made a pair every month. So these are my April socks. Oh, I must just tell you a funny story. I went to pick up my granddaughter from school, the youngest one from school, one day last week, I think it was. And I asked her all about her day. Had she had a nice day? And she said, yes. And she told me all the things she'd be doing. And then she turns around and says, and what have you been doing today, Nana? So I said, well, I've done some crochet. I've finished a blanket and started another one. Oh, she said, when did you finish it? I thought, oh, I think it was the day before yesterday. And I said, and I've also been knitting on my socks. And she said, well, have you finished them yet? And I said, well, I've finished one, but I haven't finished the other one yet. I'm still working on it. And she went, but Nana, it's nearly May. So here I am being held to account by a 7-year-old, which is lovely because I made sure I got them finished. So these socks look a bit strange to me. They are shorty socks. It's not from a pattern. So for these socks, I used a King Cole cotton socks yarn. I'll show you the ball band. And it's a 4-ply yarn. And it is made from 58% cotton, 38% polyamide and 4% PBT, which I still haven't found out what that means. But maybe that's what gives it a bit of stretch. I really don't know. You can machine wash these at 30 degrees, but it does not recommend tumble drying. There's a bit cross through the tumble drying sign. So I made them in colours white and azure. And I have not only mixed up the colours, I've mixed up patterns. So I decided last year when I first made shorty socks that I quite like a 12-row rib, 2x2 rib. And then I found this lacy pattern in a book called More Super Socks by Christine Perry, the Winnick Mum. And I just used the lace pattern part of it. And then I decided I was too lazy to work out how to make all this pattern go down the front of the sock. So I decided I'd make the rest of the socks plain, just the same as my vanilla sock recipe. And I've put in an umbrella toe by Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears. And basically I think it's a round toe that's just grafted. The last 8 stitches are just KitchenAid at the end. But they fit me, so I haven't worn them yet, and I haven't blocked them properly, but I've just popped them on the blockers because I thought they looked nice on there to show you. So those are my April socks finished. I did make them with an 80 centimetre, 2.25 millimetre needle, so I use the Magic Loop method on these, although on my next pair, oh, the cat's lying on them. I'm going to try and use Addi Crazy Trio needles, but I haven't got the right size yet, so they are coming in an order from the Wool Warehouse, along with some more pretty sock yarn, which I'll show you next time. Shall I show you a sewing project that's finished? I've made another square, another quilt block for my Peter Rabbit quilt, and this one is called the Diamond Square, and I think you'll see it does look the same. And I'll talk more about this because obviously the whole quilt isn't finished, but just that one block is finished. So we'll talk more about the quilt later on. I did hand sew it. As you can see on the back, I just did back stitch all the way around. I know you don't have to back stitch it, but I decided I would. I cut the pieces out very carefully. I used a pencil. I've ended up with pencil on the front as well as on the back on some of the pieces, but I can't do anything about that now. So never mind. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Shall we do a crochet finished item? And it's a little amigurumi. And if you've seen my last podcast where I was chatting about things, you'll know that I was making a character from this book, from Chicken Run, if you've ever seen the film Chicken Run. It's by the same makers that do Wallace and Gromit. And I have been making Ginger. She is on the picture. And as you might have seen on the thumbnail, there she is finished. I think I'd just made the pieces, hadn't I, last time on the video, but now I've put them all together. She's got a little tail stitched on the back. She's been in the bag, which is why she looks squashed and crumpled. It tells you to put the legs on as if she's sitting down, so I have. So now when she stands up, oh, she can't stand up, can she? And unfortunately, there's a little mark there, and that's where I had the stitch marker in. And I don't know how to make that go away, but I'm sure I could try. So she's got her little scarf on and a little hat. There's her comb on the top and her teeth. Oh my goodness. Oh, Ginger, you are delightful. She's the first item I've made from this book. I think I should probably make Rocky her hero, shouldn't I, really? So there's Ginger. We will go to the watercolour picture that I've got up here. And this is my April attempt at a phonology wheel. A phonology wheel is something I learned about on Marion's World. So if you want to know what phonology wheels are all about, please go and have a look on Marion's World. But mine is to do with all the leaves I've seen this April. And again, I didn't do it the way Marion suggested by painting every day. I cheated, well I didn't cheat, but I went out and took several photos at a time. So these are all leaves that I've seen round about on local walks. But unfortunately, I don't know what any of them are apart from stinging nettles, and I think that was a stinging nettle there, but I don't know. There was a dandelion, is that one of the dandelion leaf? And apart from those, I've no idea what they are. So it doesn't mean an awful lot to me, but I've had a go at painting them, and I've finished them off with marker pens and gel pens and stuff like that. So I've just got to finish putting the numbers in for the temperatures, because today is actually the 29th. But I've painted a leaf in for every day, and they were all leaves that I've seen this month. So they're April leaves, and they were all painted in the order that I saw them. So in the first week of April, I saw some of these, and then I've carried on taking photographs as I've gone on my walk, right up until last week, I think. So that's that, and my high and low temperatures around, but obviously I've got to finish those ones off. I'm a total beginner at watercolours. I bought some paints just over a year ago and I just dabble now and again. I've painted those from photographs this time and they don't look much like the photographs, but I enjoyed mixing the greens to try and get them the right colours. So they are quite simplistic. So shall we get to the best item as far as I'm concerned, and that's the blanket. The crochet blanket is finished. Hopefully I've got a photograph in to show you. So this is the Coastal Retreat blanket from Coastal Crochet, designer Eleonora Tully. And I've shown it on a few videos, haven't I? If you've seen any of my videos, I've shown you the progress. Basically, the pattern starts here and goes up. And then it repeats and repeats, and I got so carried away with my repeats I repeated it once too often, which made it very long and thin. So then I thought, well, I now need to add to the sides. So I added some waves onto the side because it was supposed to have been a plainish border, but I thought I needed to add a few more waves on there, and I would have just added blue waves had I got enough yarn left in the same colours, but I didn't, so I had to repeat them with the sand dunes and the sand and just use 2 of the colours for my border, and then I've just added that to the top. I don't know if that's the border that was on there, but that's what I've done anyway. So, and I think it looks all right. I love the waves, I love the little hearts that appear and the little flowers that will be on the sand dunes and on the beach. And then, as I say, it just repeats and repeats. So that's got to be another of my favourite blankets, and I really, really enjoyed making this one. So now it's time to do our end of the month review of my WIPs, my works in progress. Don't think I did this with you last time, although I did explain what I do at the end of the month. In my project book, I keep a list for each month of the projects I'm working on, and I write the date that I've finished and when I finished it, highlighted line through. So I've shown you the ones that have got the yellow line through for April, and now I need to talk about what's going to be carried on next month, because I'm going to be making that decision as to whether to carry on with the project or not. And I like to do this. This is the 3rd year I've been doing this because it helps to keep me on top of all my projects. I know what I'm working on. I can look back to see if there's anything on hold that I should come back to when I'm deciding what to do for my next month. So let's do the review of this month, shall we? Starting with the one at the top, which is my phonology wheel. Now, my April page of my phonology wheel was done. And I'll quickly whiz through the other pages in case you've not seen them before. So January was skies, February was twigs, March was birds, all these things that I saw or heard round about with the birds. I didn't see woodpecker, but I heard them, and I've shown you the leaves for April. So this could be a year-long project. But I need to ask myself some questions before I decide whether I'm going to go on with May. And the questions I should ask myself is, am I enjoying doing it? And the answer is, I'm enjoying when it's been finished. I love the fact that I've done it when I've finished, but I forget to do it. Because watercolour isn't a main hobby for me, it's something quite new to me. And I would love to get better at doing it, but I don't think to get it out all the time. So then it's a scramble, and there is a deadline because I want to have it finished by the end of the month. But then, so for this one, I did the whole lot over 3 days, I'll be perfectly honest, and it was earlier this week. The first day I didn't really enjoy it, but the next 2 days I did enjoy doing it as I got into it more. And now it's finished, I couldn't be happier. But do I want to do another page for May? I'm not sure. One voice is saying to me, you're not enjoying it. You can stop doing it. You don't need to do it anymore. You're not very good at it. Why put yourself through the pressure of trying to do it? Another voice is saying to me, it's a nice thing to do. You might well be improving with your painting and your watercolours. You love the fact that when you've finished it, it's done, and you've done a third of the year already. I think we'll try it for one more month. Okay, so that project will be ongoing. I can write it down on my May page, well, in my April page, I can write by phonology wheel, I can write ongoing, because I will try and do the May page. Okay, and I'll have to now, I've said it on here. The second project that I'd got down, which isn't really a project at all, was my Woolly Bears jigsaw. It's an Emma Ball jigsaw that I'd started back in January, just after Christmas, in fact. Well, it hadn't got finished. It was on the table, taking up a great deal of space. It was a 1,000-piece jigsaw. When I was needing the table, I was having to carry it through on its jigsaw board into the other room, put it on the coffee table. And one day the cat knocked it off the coffee table. Fortunately, it was inside its jigsaw board, which has a lid, and so only some pieces fell out. So my daughter managed to put those back, because she usually has a go at it while I'm giving her daughters their piano lessons on a Saturday morning. But one day last week, I'd finished cleaning in there. The felt type jigsaw board was on the coffee table. The cat leapt from one chair onto the coffee table, and the whole lot went vroom, plop on the floor. And it was in much worse of a state than it had been before. So I thought, good, I'm going to put it away. It's not been finished. I haven't done it for ages. I've had too many other things to do, so it's got put away. So that is definitely abandoned. Yes, now I've got the table back. My coastal retreat blanket has obviously been finished. And the next project on my list is my colour work hat. And I haven't shown it as a finished item. I did show it as a finished item last time. It was too big for me. I had to pull it undone, and I had only done this much, and I haven't done any more in a fortnight. Now, the fact that I've pulled it all undone and I've gone to this trouble, and this is meant to be my year of colour work knitting, I am not going to give it up, but I could put it on hold. I'm not going to abandon it, or it could be ongoing. I haven't got any other colour work on the go at the moment. So I feel it should be ongoing, because I think if I really knuckled down and did some more of this, I could probably get it done quite quickly. It's not a huge hat. So let's say this one's going to be ongoing. So I've so far got my phonology wheel ongoing, my jigsaw's been abandoned, and this hat can be ongoing. Okay, so far so good. Now we come on to the Peter Rabbit quilt. I've been working on this for probably 6 years now, 5 or 6 years. How many squares have I managed to complete this month? One. How many did I manage to complete last month? It's here somewhere. 3. Now, somewhere in my notebook, well, I had to make the list because it didn't tell me anywhere in the magazines how many squares there were going to be. So I've made a list. I went through all the pattern pieces, all through the files, and I've made a list of all the squares. So these are all the character squares. These are all the patchwork squares. There are 53. And so far I have done 13. So if we do the maths and I carry on at the same rate, it's going to be years and years before I do it. And I think I'm going to abandon the project. Now, the fact that I've made 8 patchwork squares doesn't mean I can't use them in something else. And I made a few character squares. I made 5 character squares. But let's double check and ask the questions. Am I enjoying it? No. I enjoyed the sewing part of this. I did not enjoy the cutting out and drawing around the templates and cutting out. In fact, the air was blue earlier on this week when I realised I hadn't done any of it and I wanted to get some sewing finished. So the only reason I did it was so for this video that I could say I've done another square. So I'm not enjoying doing it. I'm really missing doing my sewing my textile art pieces that I did so many of last year, and I'd like to do more of those, and I haven't got time if I'm doing this as well. And this is hanging over me, not like a black cloud, it's kind of hanging over me like a big heavy weight. It's like having a big heavy bag to carry all the time, and I just want to put it down now and not pick it up again. So I think I'm going to abandon the quilt and think of what I can do with the squares I've already made, because I think that will make me feel a lot better about it all. And so that project is going to be abandoned, because I'm not looking forward to having a Peter Rabbit quilt that sits in a cupboard forever and doesn't get used. So good, I've made that decision. Socks, I will be making another pair of socks. I may well do another amigurumi, I'm not sure. And then the other thing that I finished this month obviously was the blanket, and I have started a baby blanket. Now, this is where I've changed my mind from what I said last time, because I'd found that lovely pattern by Bella Coco, and it was for a blanket that I thought would make a nice baby blanket, but it was in mosaic crochet, and I said I would make in one square to find out how it went. So I started the square, and I don't think I've kept it. I haven't told you, I'm very good at decluttering, so I didn't keep it and I got rid of it because I should have kept it to show you, but I didn't like the way that the yarn got carried up the back. And I did a few rounds, I didn't even make the whole square. I did a few rounds and it was like deja vu, and I thought, I've done this before. I thought, no, I can't have done it before. The pattern's only just been released. And when I went back on my computer to look at the pattern, I realised that I had bought and purchased and downloaded the Christmas pattern that Bella Coco had released, that Sarah Jane had designed, on a similar vein in mosaic crochet in squares. I had tried one of the squares and I didn't like the way it got carried up the back, and so I didn't want to do it. If only I'd remembered I'd done that, I wouldn't have purchased the pattern I did. So I decided not to do it. However, I did pop over to the Rosina Crochet's website, and she does things in squares, and I looked at one of her tutorials that was carrying the yarn up the back, and then she said, and she's also discovered a way of not having it showing so much. So there might be scope for me to try that other way from Rosina Crochet's another time. In the meantime, I have got a baby blanket to make for a few weeks' time, so I had to start something else. So I looked at a few patterns for baby blankets. I couldn't see anything that really caught my eye, so I went to some of my crochet stitches book and thought, well, I wonder if I could just make one that repeats a crochet stitch. And I found a stitch that I like the look of, and it's the tulip stitch. And it's not just, it sort of slants a bit. And I thought, oh, I'll try that. So I've tried it and I quite liked it. So that's what I'm doing. So for me saying that I don't like doing stripy blankets because they're the same stitch all the way through, I'm now doing a stripy blanket that's the same stitch all the way through. Oh, look, I've still got all the stitch markers in from when I was doing the chain row at the beginning. I wanted to make sure I'd got them in the right place. And it's basically the corner to corner stitch, but going along in a line rather than keep turning your work. So it's just basically 3 chains, and then you do 3 trebles, and then you do a double crochet or a single if you use US terms, and you carry on like that. So I found the colours in my stash. I haven't had to buy anything, and I'm well on the way to finishing. I'm just on this blue round here. So what I've done, I'm using cream as the main colour, 3 rows of cream, 2 and 2, 3 rows of cream, 2 of this, 2 of that, 3 rows of cream, 2, 2, 2 rows of cream. Then I've alternated 1 row of each colour with 1 row of cream, and when I got to the blue, that's the centre, I've started mirroring it again. So you can see if I hold it that way, blue's the centre, then I've done those, the apricot, then I'm onto the tea green, then I'm onto the soft peach, which looks pink to me, then I'm onto the violet mist, and it's a mixture again of Wendy and Starcraft Special DK. Then I've got to the yellow colour, which I've forgotten what it's called. Then I'm back on the cream, and now I'm on this blue. So I've just done 2 rounds of the blue, and I've just got that much left to finish. So it hasn't taken me long, has it? Over 2 weeks I've done that much, as well as finishing off the other things. So I think that's going to be pretty. My only problem will come when I get to the border to try and decide what kind of a border to put on and what colours I've got left to do it in. But no, I'm happy with that. So that's definitely an ongoing project. So I think that's about everything for today. I can tell you about 2 visits that I've been on recently to do with crafting next time in the next video. I'll tell you all of the new projects that I'm going to be starting to do with my sewing and to do with my blanket making and crochet. I can show you the yarn and the needles I'm using for my knitting socks. And I would like to say thank you so much if you're a new subscriber, or if you're new to my channel, thank you for joining us. It's lovely to know that you're out there. And if you would like to tell me what you've made, please do. In fact, I've even had an email this week from somebody telling me and showing me some photographs of the things they've been making, and that was lovely to see. And enjoy your crafting. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next month. Bye.